What's up, YouTube? Joseph here, giving you guys another retro OG Harpie deck profile. Closing years to the last one, cause we're still winding down those years. Oh boy, can't wait till I get to GOAT format. So I'm gonna do this last one, and then I'm gonna give it a minute before I go through the next few because I want to make sure that I get them correct as well. And I might also throw in my version of a GOAT formatted deck if you guys haven't seen the other one. But this one will be a lot better because this one I'll actually have more control. I'll have more access to a lot of stuff and just a lot easier on my hands. Because my old videos, if you guys remember when I did, I think the first GOAT control formatted deck, my hand was holding the camera phone, and I literally had to hold the phone while I was holding the deck in one hand. Oh, thank God for the pause button. Alright, so let's get this one started and get through this one. Like the last one, no extra deck. I didn't go format and everything from Exceed on. Pretty much had an extra deck. I think with the exception of Cyber Dragon. Only because of the fact there were still machine decks running around, so you can just Chimera attack into a lot of things if you needed to. So of course our lineup starts off, of course, with our basic setup of Harpie ladies, Harpie lady sisters, and Harpie's pet baby dragon. And following them, of course, is Birdface. So that's the Harpie lineup. Then to accumulate the difference between the last deck and this one, well, besides the Flying Comic Series number 1 set I run, D-Mock makes his appearance in this deck. D-Mock at the time was at 1. He was not errata like he is in today's format. D-Mock killed the monster, banished it. D-Mock was ever special summoned. You add one spell card from your deck to your hand. There was infinite loops with D-Mock, which caused not only his ban, but his errata as well. Cards like Escape from the Dark Dimension, Return from Different Dimension, Dimension Fusion, Different Dimension Reincarnation. Cards like that allowed D-Mock to really come back and really do a lot of damage, even if he got banned, because at that point, in this time of the game, there were removal support cards, and boy, they were heavy. And D-Mock was one of those generic monsters that you could put into a deck, but it also depended on if you could summon D-Mock and have the ability and have stuff waiting for him. But with the large amount of spells we had, ranging from Heavy Storms to MST to Giant Trunade and stuff like that, you had multiple targets of cards you can get. Even during that section of which he was out at 1, D-Mock was still a threat. And many decks such as Troop Duke Scoop, Airblade Turbo, and various forms of Dark Magician spam, because Dark Magician was still a deck even back then, and he had a load of arsenal cards supporting him, including the structure deck. So you can imagine D-Mock was really one of those really main awesome deck cards that most decks were trying to fit in to get to use his effects. Next are the DD setups. Different Dimension Warrior Lady and Different Dimension Assassin. Assailant, I'm sorry. The DD duo, not only were they both at 1, Rhoda was at 1 because Rhoda was so generic, it searched for every good warrior card in the game. Another monster also included in this is Exile Force, which I don't own an Exile Force anymore, sad face. But yeah, the whole situation with these two, you'd Rhoda out either one of them and they were out to a lot of stuff. They could take out cards that would take them out, they take them out with them. Sangan was not an issue for DD Warrior Lady, because if you timed it right, she could swing at Sangan and take Sangan out with her. and try to cause a little damage if she could. And DD Assailant just took out anything that she couldn't as a result of battle. And then to finish up my lineup is Magician of Faith, Master of Darkness, and Sangan. So onto my spells. The triple Harpies Hunting Ground and double Elegant Egotist. Because it just wouldn't be a Harpie deck without them. One reinforcement of the army, and that was the search for either DD Warrior Lady or DD Assailant. One Mystical Space Typhoon, because that was at one. One Swords of Revealing Light. One Premature Burial. One Pot of Avarice. One Giant Tree Nate. One Raigeki. I'm not running Heavy Storm. At this point, I cited Heavy Storm. Most of your spells were one-offs. I think there is an older variant once I go back far enough to where I lose a third party that I can run. Yeah, I can actually run the Feather Dust. I mean, not Feather. Well, Feather Duster as well, but running Heavy Storm in the main deck because MST's at 1, True Name's at 1, and there were still a lot of problematic cards like Skill Drain had came out. You're dealing with various types of burn, because burn was starting to be real popular. So we had a lot of stuff that you still had to deal with that Harpies inadvertently couldn't get over at the current time. So a lot of one-ups that did sufficiently work, and with D-Mock still around, that really helped circulate the deck. Following that up, the last of the deck in the deck profile are my traps. 2 Hysteric Party and 2 Icarus Attacks. Put them over here. In terms of one-ups, we're going to start off with Mirror Force. Mirror Force was at 1, shocker. And Mirror Force was still a very combative back row card because of the fact that you could combine that with cards like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dimension Prison was out. Yeah, Dimension Prison just came out. You're using cards like Sakuretsu Armor Steel. The only difference with Saku and Dimensional Prison was Prison banished and Saku didn't. And most cards like Wild Sangan, you wanted them to be banished. Hit DD Warrior Lady before she hit you. The only thing it didn't hurt was like macro decks, which is also why maining a Heavy Storm would be great because you could deal with Macro Cosmos and Dimensional Fissure. Crush Card Virus was at 1, and like I said, targets, and Sangan was one of them. Spirit Reaper, Mask of Darkness. I think there's a lot of low level monsters that you could easily use the virus on, and the virus could get rid of a lot of your issues. Called a Haunted, still a staple. At this point, I didn't run Judgment because I was like many players who probably didn't know how the game worked at that point and didn't run Judgment because I'm not paying half my life in this stop card. But then when I started playing competitively and got back into the game, I started to play Judgment. But because this was a Harpie Lady oriented deck, I was running the Aqua Course. And for those who don't know what the Aqua Course is, if there are monsters on the field with the exact same name, all those monsters with that name gain 500 attack and defensive points. So, Harpie Lady, Harpie Queen, or Harpie Lady went on the field, and the Aqua Course gains its effect will activate in game. So, with that, what is actually funny story enough, in the Lord of the Storm structure deck, the Wind structure deck that came out many years ago, that had Aqua Course as a common, and that would give 500 to every monster in the deck with Harpie in its name, or monsters that were the same had the same name, so boost up. And for a couple of her decks in the video game ran Aqua Course as well. So that is the deck profile, retro deck profile. I'm still trying to pump out a few more before I get to Cybernetic Revolution in that era. So do stay tuned for that. So I'll take a break and come back, and I'll give you guys those deck lists and hopefully some more if I can think of any or find any more that I can get to. Sorry about that. So that's pretty much it for this profile. Don't want to drag it on for too long. And till next time, you guys, this will be HJ signing out. Take care.